the belief I carried for years that I did not know was there. I want to tell you about something I discovered about myself that I did not go looking for. It's a belief, specific, very quiet, running underneath almost every personal decision I made for years. And I want to tell you about it, not because it makes me look good, because it doesn't, but I think a lot of people in this community are carrying something similar and don't know how to name it. The belief sounded something like this: you have to work twice as hard to be seen half as much. And for a very long time, I thought that was just true. I thought it was just the reality, and it was a tax that I was paying for being a Black woman in professional spaces. And I want to be clear, some of it was real. The systems are not equal. I'm not going to, stand here and tell you and pretend that bias does not exist or that the playing field is level, because it is not. But here's the thing I had to learn to separate: the systematic reality of what's true from the internal narrative I had built on top of it. Because at some point, that belief stopped being a description of what the world was doing to me, and it started being a limitation on what I would allow myself to expect. So I'll be even more specific about what this looked like in my actual life. I stopped applying for certain opportunities, not because I looked at the requirements and was not qualified. A lot of times I was overqualified. I stopped because somewhere underneath the surface, I had already decided the answer was no. And why would I waste the energy? I overworked constantly, not because the work genuinely required it, but because resting felt dangerous. Like if I stopped proving myself, something would be taken away. I minimized my own contributions in rooms where I should have been claiming them. I said things like we when I meant I. I attributed ideas to the group that were mine, not because I was humble, because I had internalized that taking up space was risky. That is what limiting beliefs do. And this is the part I really need you to hear. It does not just live in your head, it lives in your calendar, it lives in your relationships, it lives in your bank account and your body, especially in your nervous system. Every decision that belief touched, and it touched a lot of them, was shaped by an assumption I had never consciously chosen, that I had just inherited, and I never questioned it. The moment that I started questioning it came from a conversation with a mentor who asked me something I was not prepared for. She said, "What would you do if you actually believe you deserve to be in the room?" I sat with the question for a long time because my first instinct was to give a smart answer. But she was asking me something underneath the strategy. And when I finally answered honestly, which is when I let myself imagine operating from a place of genuine belonging rather than constant proof, everything looked different. The opportunities I would pursue, the way I would show up in negotiations, the way I would communicate, the way I would even rest without guilt. Here is what I know now that I didn't know then. You cannot outwork a limiting belief. You can be disciplined, strategic, talented, hardworking, and still be held back by something you're carrying at the level of identity. The work is not more effort. The work is getting honest about what you actually believe. So here's what I want to ask you, and I'm asking you for real, not rhetorically. What is the belief underneath your decisions right now? Not the goal, not the strategy, but the actual belief. What do you actually believe about what you deserve, about what's possible for you, and whether you belong in the rooms you're really trying to get into? Drop it in the comments if you're willing, because I think a lot of people are carrying beliefs that they've never said out loud. And sometimes saying it is the first step to putting it down, and you got to put it down. Wednesday, I'm going to give you a 4-question framework for doing this work systematically, the belief audit. It's one of the most powerful exercises I use with coaching clients, and I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. Follow Miss Tiffany Uncut so you don't miss it. And if you want to do this work with me with real support and structure, the Successory Coaching cohort opens in August. I will be sharing the link in July, but I appreciate you for joining this community and sticking with me if you watched the whole video. But I appreciate you. And again, follow Miss Tiffany Uncut. See you on Wednesday.